Damon, awesome man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, appreciate
Pleasure
it.
to have you here.
I'm really excited. We're both passionate about the hero's journey. So
We are, yeah.
we love those discussions about the hero's journey.
Mm.
But what I'm really excited about is the fact that we both want to impart the knowledge of the hero's journey to others.
Yeah,
That's-
core
we both
value,
really
core
feel,
belief. And for those people listening, it's actually how we met, right?
Yes,
It's how we
yes.
actually met in the markets.
Yes, that's true.
And
I was
so do you
selling my little book.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to tell everyone what you're doing in the market?
Just quickly, yeah. So I'm the author of this book, which is the I'm Awesome Hero. My main character, that's his name, I Am Awesome, and he's got to go and figure out the journey. And so I've based it on the hero's journey concept. So using the 12 stages as chapter headings, so to speak. And the book is designed to explain the hero's journey.
Incredible. And
Yeah.
parallel to that,
Yeah.
myself, my name is Anthony. I have been creating a 12-stage journey for clients through coaching based off the hero's journey to take them through their own adventure of uncovering the hero within themselves.
Yes.
And so whilst walking past you on the street and I saw this book and I thought, wow, this is incredible. I think it was Christmas time too.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I thought this would be a beautiful gift for my nephew,
Yeah.
which he loved, by the way.
Yeah,
And I
it's
gave it
really-
out
really
to one of my
appreciate
my partner's nieces at the time, my ex-partner now, and she also loved it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm really excited and passionate to be collaborating with you, but to hear more about your story, your journey, and then also just the philosophy. And I hope today that we can actually uncover what the hero's journey is, and then give the audience a bit of a framework, because I think every single one of us, right, innately know and act out the hero's journey,
Absolutely.
but we are unaware of the fact that we are within this narrative framework.
Yes.
So let's explore that.
Deep dive that.
Yeah.
Look, the best way to start is we all understand gravity. We don't need to know gravity, but it affects every single human being, whether you know about gravity or not.
Yeah.
Hero's journey is a psychological gravity. It's the core foundation for who you are as a person. It's your psyche, the essence of who you are. And you need to go on the journey to grow. Every stage of your life is a growth process, a growth pattern. And when we stop growing is when we've got stagnant in one of the stages of the hero's journey. Okay? But you're still on the hero's journey.
Yes.
Even though you're sitting stagnant.
Right, and it's fractal too.
Yes.
So each day can be seen as the hero's journey. So you start your day in your mundane routine. You go to work. You go on this adventure outside. And you enter the unknown. You come back. You share these stories with your family, your friends. You do the next journey tomorrow. But then you also have like the year. What was the year about? What was your life about?
Sure.
And so there's all these like fractal events. And you're right in saying that it's a growth journey. I actually, my take on it was like it's more like an alchemical journey. So it's also, there was a lot of interest back in the day around turning metal into gold. So that's what an alchemist did. And so there's also that really famous book, The Alchemist, which is a great version of the hero's journey.
Yeah.
And so there's the literal sense, but what we're trying to get at is the metaphorical sense. Is how do you turn yourself, how do you transform yourself into gold? How do you become the hero of your own story?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it really is, and you talk about being fractal, and like at 8 o'clock in the morning, you might be on the parent's journey, dealing with a child issue.
Yeah.
After 9 o'clock, you go to work, you're on a business journey. And then in the evening, you might be dealing with a relationship journey, and all at different stages.
Yeah.
But once you get a really clear understanding for the power of the hero's journey, and then understand its fractal perspective, where you can attach meaning depending on which journey you're on. So just the awareness of it, you can sit there and go, right, I'm in parent mode at the moment, so I'm on the parent's journey. Okay, where am I on that journey? Right, okay, now I know what's going on. Now I know my emotional state is being like this because of.
Yeah. And so would you something interesting there, would you find out, right? So let's say I perceive myself as the hero archetype, the hero character within business, within being a parent. So it's like each one of those roles are different. And so you would ask yourself, how would the hero act and show up in this instance, in terms of being a parent, in terms of being a business entrepreneur, in terms of being an athlete, in terms of being a friend? Is that something that you personally do? Is that
Yeah, look, you said that you see yourself as the hero, but I would actually see yourself as the mentor in the hero's journey for your clients.
100%.
Okay, so you've been on the hero's journey, and that is the hero's journey in itself.
Yeah.
Once you've achieved and gone through the process, you now have knowledge and experience, which you can then impart to others. And that is the hero's journey.
Yeah.
But you don't teach it, or it's through inspiration.
Yeah.
So people watching you, so that's what it's really cool to understand that this is an inspirational journey and others are watching you. So it's you are inspired by others to go on your journey. So we find mentors in our life to help us on that journey, and they inspire us. You definitely don't go with a coach who doesn't do anything for you.
No, and this is the whole Star Wars, George Lucas, and we can dive deep into that. But it's like the student is when the student is ready, the master will appear, because the mentor or the teacher in this case, like you said, is kind of stepped away from society. They don't try and impose the journey on someone. Yeah. Instead, they sit in a very far forest, or Luke Skywalker becomes the mentor.
You go looking for them.
Yeah, and they're somewhere hidden because they've been on this journey, and so you approach them when you're ready.
Yeah.
And that's
it can be the religious journey or the school journey or whatever else. They have a tendency to speak from a voice of authority. Where I'm coming through with my book is not being a voice of authority. This is really a curious, questioning concept of asking why. And the process of it. Deliberately, you'll see there's an infinity symbol on the cover, and that's intentional with this concept of the hero's journey, because you start the journey needing a mentor, and you find a mentor, and then you go on the journey. But once you've gone through the journey yourself, and as I said, you've got now knowledge and experience, and you've overcome all those things, you've built a sense of self. It's a new identity, because the person who starts the journey is not the same person at the end of the journey. You are now a new person, reborn. But then you come back and become the mentor. Yeah. And that's the infinity concept. So where that crosses over is that mentor stage.
And for you, do you think that you're always partaking in the student as well? So
you're never not a student,
and you're a
mentor as well.
At the same time. Yeah.
So this is the idea that, as I said, in the morning you might be a parent, and in the middle of the day your business. Yeah. So you may be a student with your first child in the morning. Yeah. But then you're an experienced business person helping others. Yeah. So you're on a different role then. Yes. See, after you've had 3 kids and you've grown up, you can now impart the knowledge. So when you're in the early stages, you're the student. Yeah. So there's journeys that last a week, there's some that last a whole lifetime, and it just depends. You just have the awareness is key. Yeah. So it's understanding the framework of it. Yes. So why did you write this book? I went on my own journey.
Yeah.
I really went on my own journey, and look, we all do. I hit rock bottom, relationship breakdown. My whole identity was tied up in that concept. I actually bumped into Joseph Campbell's teachings 30 years prior, when I was studying documentary film, and I was introduced to Joseph Campbell's hero's journey then. All right, but I didn't really grasp the concept of it. And then years later, when I was going through this process of reinventing myself, because after my marriage, I was a stepdad for 10 years, and then when you lose that identity, so husband gone, my role as my identity as a husband, step parent, a homeowner, business owner, dog owner, all gone. And it was like, who am I? And I just was lost. And it happens to so many people. We get lost because our relationship forms such a huge part of our identity. That was me, and I hit rock bottom. So my jigsaw puzzle was now in 1,000 pieces on the floor and black. Yeah. And so I had to try and, initially I tried to rebuild Humpty Dumpty, and you can't do that. Because what caused Humpty Dumpty to break, you need to let that go. It's gone, and that's it.
Rebirth, yeah.
So then the process of me going through nearly 5 years of learning and developing, and it was a quest for me, and I just got caught up in it and loved it so much. But the real crux of it was having 2 suicide attempts. I had hit rock bottom. I was bad, and I went to Cambodia to go for an adventure because I needed to reinvent myself and just get some energy going again. And I literally just went over there, grabbed a motorbike and went for a ride. And then a month into my journey, I ended up having a heart attack. And part of that process was having to get back on the motorbike to get back to hospital. Oh, wow. And I was like, okay. So that 8-hour journey to get to hospital, or to a hospital, it told me one thing, that I didn't really want to die, because I was trying so hard to get there,
to get back,
to live. I didn't really understand it, but I knew I didn't really want to die. Here's a perfect opportunity, and yet I didn't want that. The dilemma was I didn't know how to live. That was my blackness. It wasn't that I wanted to die. I didn't want to die. I just didn't know how to live. And so that was where we get stuck sometimes. And I know I was so close to making that wrong decision twice. And
it's a beautiful turnaround.
Yeah, it was amazing. And so, even to the point where there was one situation where someone knocked on the door at the very minute I was about to.
Wow.
Like, it was.
Yeah, it was.
30 seconds later, it would have been different.
Yeah.
But I got a knock on the door.
And that's the call.
It's hilarious, and I don't believe in God, and this person is a born again Christian, so I just sort of say, yeah, okay, no. We have a joke about it. I still don't believe in God, but they do, and it's like, we talk about it. Yeah. But it was that knock on the door. You can call it divine intervention. There's a spiritual intervention. There was a universal connection. There was whatever you want to label it. It doesn't matter. It all means the same thing. Yeah. And meaning is the most important thing we need in our life, and that's the hero's journey.
100%.
The hero's journey allows you, once you understand it, allows you to create a life of meaning. So 2 days after my heart attack, I got to read the obituaries of somebody I knew who had a heart attack on the same day I had mine. I was rock bottom, and they were someone who inspired people, millions, right, with their work and their art. And reading the obituaries showed me how to live. Wow. So that was my concept of rebirth, is to figure it out and start again. Yeah. And I went on this quest of, okay, well, who do I want to become? Because I'm now no longer. And so I tried a lot of different things to try and figure out who I wanted to become now, because it was like, I've got a blank canvas. And so I started the new jigsaw puzzle, which was finding out the corners of the strong points of the jigsaw puzzle. So I needed values and principles. So it was authenticity, trust, passion, and self-care. So when I found out which piece of my black jigsaw puzzle to redesign, and I found which corner it sat in, the colour came back into that piece. Yeah. And so this is a metaphorical understanding of it. So authenticity, trust, passion, self-care became my corners, and then it's easy enough to then do the sides with black pieces, because eventually you find the right one, But I realised I was making a mistake by doing that jigsaw puzzle as a 2D image. And I was creating a life that if one piece was missing, the whole lot was imperfect, not good. Yeah. And I realised that's the same mistake and why Humpty broke before. And so I thought, okay, what if I was to take the four corners that we call our boundaries or pillars and bring them in and create a foundation to build an infinite jigsaw puzzle. Yeah. So if we build core values and principles as a central piece within us, and then you just go out in infinite directions on them. And that's what I want to impart now with kids. Yeah. Is to create an infinite jigsaw puzzle of your life. Every piece, good or bad, fits. Yeah. Beautifully.
That's incredible. And
that's the journey I'm on now.
There's two things that come up for me. Yeah. One is the Joseph Campbell quote, which is if you die before you die, you won't die when you die.
Yeah, how powerful is that?
Such a powerful thing. When you understand the journey of that, right? So it's like you've already experienced death in life.
Yes,
and what you're left with is what we're talking about. Yeah. What you're left with is, like you said, whether you call it God, whether you call it spirit, whether you call it it's
what means to you.
It's that part which is nothing and everything, but where it's the blankness where you can create from.
Yes.
And in that is the infinite energy, the infinite potential for you to recreate who you are, and to know that moving forward is you build this resilience, right? And that's what gives the hero the strength. It's because halfway through the hero's journey, right, is actually death and rebirth.
Yes.
Not at the end. Death and rebirth
multiple times, depending on what you need to do.
And death and rebirth is right in the middle of that journey. So you only live the rest of your life. The other half is once you actually forego and surrender yourself to your identity.
The new identity.
Yeah, exactly. Something greater than you.
The reinvented or the recreated version. It's actually a new, like a child doesn't stay a child. They move into, or a baby moves into childhood, then it moves into a teenager, and then a teenager becomes the adult. Yeah. Each of those has to die, metaphorically. Although emotionally, some people are adults, but they're still in child state. And that's part of the hero's journey as well. They haven't developed and gone, that emotional part of their psyche hasn't gone through the hero's journey.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I know what
So
you
it's
mean, yeah.
really, so there's
It hasn't
the
transformed
physical,
yet.
yes, and it's really, that's where parents need to understand
Yeah.
how they can transform their child or teach their children to transform themselves from there to there.
And I actually made this mistake a little earlier. Like, you know, creativity and fun was something that was part of my character as a kid.
Yeah.
And in my mid-20s, I actually lost that because I felt like the creativity and fun disabled me from becoming successful. You know, getting a proper job. Yeah. All these other things. And then now, you know, coming towards my 30s, my late 20s, I realized that actually it was a part of myself that's now being reborn and rebirthed again, and actually it's being integrated into my character as an adult. So
deliberately and intentionally.
It's intentionally, yeah. So it's like the kid has been transformed, and it's come to birth in a new place. Because, like you said, it's like every part of yourself, the light, the dark, the good, the bad, has to be integrated.
Yes.
And so it's not about removing parts of yourself. It's maybe restructuring it and also forming a new relationship with it.
Absolutely.
Through the journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are good and bad, but we need to understand. we need to understand good and bad.
Yes. Yeah.
But the whole world is in opposites, and the concept of gravity and so forth. So our tide in and out. You know what I mean? And we've got up and down and black and white and all these sort of. When you look at life, everything is an opposite. You've got love and hate, all your emotions. Everything has an opposite. And so if you can understand that, it's a matter of working out where you are in the line between the opposite.
Yes.
And sometimes we go to the extremes on both. But
do you think
neither is good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Neither is sitting and staying. You can go and experience it, but don't stay there.
Yeah.
Go through it, around, and come back.
I think by experiencing either extreme, things get closer to the center.
Absolutely.
And that's what I feel like the journey is. It's like you're touching different extremes. You know, I'm going to go really strict with one thing, pursue business and pursue money. That doesn't bring me any success or reward. You know, I'll pursue spirituality. You know what? Great, but I have no implementation in the world. And so then you start to find the middle point, which is what I think most heroes do. Is they are the center. They are the person that you know, in terms of Buddhists, to create another hero's journey story into this, is like Buddha is the person that sits in the middle of the middle way, the middle path. And so the middle way is unique for me, and I feel like the middle way is love. Because either extreme, the way I see it, is out of fear. You know, I'm going this way because I'm out of fear of what the opposite means. So you tend to go the other way. And until you accept both these things out of love, then you find the middle path. And like you said, life is like that. You're testing different sides until you can understand that, like, I don't think opposites actually exist.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an illusion. So, example, you said love and hate. Well, love and hate are both emotions. You look at hot and cold. Okay, they're opposites, but they're both temperatures. So they are one and the same. They're just on the different ends of the spectrum, two poles.
True.
But it's that paradox to hold, like, can I be good and evil? Can that exist within me? And yes, it can. And that actually that enables you to make choices in terms of, will I act like this or like this? And if you deny one or the other, then you actually act out as good or evil. And you
so I need to expand my language to say it's where we live in a world of opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a better way of understanding.
I think so.
Yeah. Which incorporates your thinking and mine.
Yes.
So, and yes, it's existing in one too much is unhealthy. Yeah. And it has a negative effect on everybody around you and everything around you. Yeah. So the idea is that you and even for a positive, like living in love and only love, really is a negative. So yes, coming back to that middle point. Now I would say that's not love itself. I understand that as acceptance. Yes. Yeah. So
I see that I see the same way. I see it as the same thing.
We're using a different word,
but
to understand the same thing.
Concept.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it.
Yeah, I see love as acceptance. Love is I accept you for who you are. I accept good and bad, and that is love. And
that's the key. So I think when we're exploring ourselves, but when we're also exploring others, we have to accept the good and the bad.
100%. Yeah. And so, what would you say, like, because back to the book for a second, this is for kids. So,
essentially it's for kids, but the idea is that parents using the book with the kids. Yeah. It's a resource really for adults and parents with kids.
And so why have you chosen? Because I've done the same thing. I have the same sort of thing because I think kids are the future. of,
Yeah.
you know, and I think it's
Yeah.
important to impart this knowledge, and also they're a bit more of a blank canvas,
Yeah.
so they can learn this stuff.
Mm.
And for me, I thought stories is a great way, because story is like storage of information. It's how we pass down. It's how we've always done it as humans.
Story is the way.
It is the way.
Yeah.
And so, how did you come up with that philosophy, and then why are you doing that? Yeah,
The
what's driving
specific
this?
philosophy of the hero's journey itself, or the way I want to live my life now?
I would say what you're doing with the book, because
Yeah.
you want to help kids understand this story. So you've chosen to do a book. You know, you did film, but now you're going to books, and maybe guessing you want to do film again.
Yep.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Where is it
Where's it going?
Why?
Okay, so if you use the concept of a radio, and you dial
Frequency?
in
As in
frequency,
Yeah.
alignment.
Okay.
And after my my rock bottom,
Mm.
and then coming back from that, I tried lots of different frequencies, trying to figure out where I needed to be, to become me. And with that, I ended up on the right frequency, if you know what I mean. So it was just a matter of tiny tweaks. Because I went there, and then I went there, and then I went there, and then I went there, and it was just back and forth until I got it to the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where that was. I had to go searching to find.
Can I pause you
and
there?
we aligned, yes.
How do you know it's a sweet spot? Could you articulate that to the audience? It's a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Could you talk more about that? So
Yeah, fulfilled.
Yeah.
We go through happiness, sadness, all those sorts of stuff, but fulfillment can withstand storms.
And so it's fulfillment, just to clarify, it's fulfillment regardless of the situation and scenario you're currently in. So you can be, you can be poor for that month.
Yeah.
You could be,
Whatever.
it doesn't matter where you are. It's
Fulfillment
that's
will
a
get
sense
you,
of
will pull
security
you through.
Yeah. So you sense that.
So well, not initially. I was a bit confused because I'd never written a book before. And the funny thing came about it, I was in the process of me reinventing myself. I went and built a boat.
Okay.
And to start a boat business where I moved to a new location.
Yeah.
And so I had a beautiful life set up. I was really happy, a little 2-bedroom apartment overlooking the water, and there was a boat jetty, and I was building a boat, and I was coming back to recreating myself. So there was happiness, but I wasn't fulfilled. And it was really interesting. So I went to my business mentor at the time, and I just said, look, I'm feeling conflicted because there's this idea for a kid's book coming up, which I'd never written a book before, and I'm building a boat business. And I just said, I've hit a crossroads and I can't work it out. And it was really interesting. We had a bit of a chuckle because he just stared me in the eye and he just said, trust the process. And I'm thinking, shit, I'm paying you a lot of money and that's all you can say to me. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, is that it? Give me clarity. And so on the plane home, I made a commitment to make no decisions for the boat business for 8 weeks. Don't make a decision. Little ones, but no directional decisions for the boat business. For 8 weeks. And that was all I did. Just promised myself no decisions until we got this clarity processed. Because there was good potential. And so I got home and there was an email for a writing class in my local library the next day.
Right.
And so I went.
Yeah.
And then at that writing class, they spoke about poetry, and the lesson was about poetry. And I came home and I wrote all of the poems for the book in one sitting.
Wow.
They just came out.
Comes out, yeah.
And I haven't changed a word in any of the poems. It's pretty powerful. It just came out, and now they're in the book. The book was written in 8 weeks. That 8 weeks that I'd given myself, that I didn't know about. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know.
It's
And it was right. Okay, just stepping back, trusting the process.
Yeah.
And trusting is sometimes stepping back and allowing.
Being someone that is aware of the hero's journey, were you aware of the hero's journey at the time? So when the core to the children's book came along, you were aware of how the story works, and the second part of that was when you then got home, and then there was this letter to go to this writing course.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, inside your mind, were you like, okay, this is the hero's journey, this is the step to take.
Yeah.
I'm now aware of how to make choices, because I guess the point we're both trying to make is when you become aware of the theme and the narrative of the hero's journey, then situations like this and choices like this become so clear to you that this is the right path, and you feel it.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about, fulfillment.
Exactly. And so like by understanding the hero's journey, which is what I'm trying to get, you can make choices in your life that lead you on a path of becoming your greatest self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was, if you look at it like a treasure map, coming back, I was broken. I was literally broken. I had to find myself a place, had to get myself settled, had to try and figure things out as to who I wanted to become. It was a great gift because I had a blank canvas, but that's such a challenge.
Yeah.
Because
you have infinite choices now.
You spend the last 10 years was thinking of others, and now it's just me. What do I want? I don't know. Who do I want to become? I don't know. And so that's why I just thought, we'll just go and try this and try that and try this and try that and find out what feels. Get that radio frequency happening. Go and play on that station for a while. Oh, it's not me. Okay, over here. Try that. And so what I ended up doing was a lot of different courses along the way, and one of them was with a beautiful woman. She's actually local to Manly, which is great. She lives around the corner, and she's a great proponent of the hero's journey, and her courses are a very, very deep psychological dive into the hero's journey. And so that immersed me. That was actually the big shift for me to take the step to start the process of becoming me. I thought, building the boat and doing all that sort of stuff was great. Yes, that was getting in touch with my creative strength again, because that had all been stifled. Yeah. The fire of creativity had been put out in the process of the relationship, and so that was stoking the fire. And so the fuel for the fire to really kick it off was learning about the hero's journey through Pip's work, which was a deep dive into my past and the childhood trauma of understanding self. And it was a whole lot of little clues in a very, very short period of time that gave me a greater sense of where I was going. And one of those was doing Pip's course, obviously. Then I was doing personality profile through the wealth dynamics concept, which is fantastic. That told me that I had the personality profile that Richard Branson has, the same. Yeah. And then I got to sit in front of Richard Branson 1 month after doing that personality profile. And then I understood why, because we have different upbringings. His parents understood him as being different, as being challenged in a different way, but still intelligent. And so they encouraged and supported him and forced him to figure things out. Yeah. So it was a beautiful environment for him to become the entrepreneur at an early age. My upbringing was the complete opposite. My parents didn't understand my creativity. I was the typical daydreamer, because that's who I am as a visionary. I'm thinking into the future all the time. And so I was one of 7. We had to put food on the table, pay the mortgage, which shut up, sit down, do as you're told, stay silent, so to speak, in a rough sort of way. My father he had a very narcissistic personality, and his controlling method was to humiliate you publicly, is to call you out in front of people to belittle you. That shame was his way to control, and it was a technique that he used. It works because it's But anyway, there was a consistent message from him that I wasn't good enough. Yeah. And you're a dickhead. You should just shut up. Do as you're told. Blah, blah, blah. And that was it. And it was really interesting. So I didn't find that out until I was in my 50s, after I'd had a breakdown and gone through all this journey. And then I sat there and thought, oh, okay, now I understand. Yeah. So it was putting that piece together with Pip's learning. Yeah. And then the hero's journey all started to fall into place. And
that's what I love about the hero's journey, in particular, like movies, that I grew up watching as a kid. And it's like, it's why I think they're so powerful, is because I remember, I wouldn't say I had a very tough or rough upbringing in that case. I don't feel like it was flourished or nourished in that way, but I wasn't able to be myself. But through watching movies, I got to see the character and the integrity that the hero had, and I was always like, wow, this is fascinating. If that character can do it, I can do it. Yeah. And you start, because when you're watching movies, which is a crazy thing, is that you actually do neurologically take on the main character's emotions, and you're drawn into that world. And so your ability to be open to that as a kid is your ability to align yourself with the thoughts and feelings and emotion of that character. And so that's why I think it's such a powerful tool. And I think that's why marketing companies And all these things use storytelling, branding is storytelling.
But they use the hero's journey.
They do.
Intentionally.
They do.
Like Disney, Bambi, hero's journey.
Yeah.
Nemo, Country Lion King, all of them, hero's journey. Luke Skywalker, Star Wars, hero's journey. But then Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, all the hero's journey.
And do you think that the hero's journey at the moment, in terms of the cinema, movies, books, has actually lost its integrity and strength? Because that's what I've seen. Like most of the modern movies I see now, what's funny about Marvel, right, is that there's a lack of a villain. It's like I really believe that Western culture can't look at morality, and that's one of the biggest issues. Is like there's the villain is equally as powerful as the hero, and the hero, that makes the hero stronger, right? Because there's something greater to overcome, which is an internal reflection of himself. Which is exactly why Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, and it's his father. And the reason it's his father is because he is a fractal version of his father, and so his father exists within him, and that's why it's such a powerful story. And I look at movies today, and there's no villain. I couldn't even name you the villain. I couldn't even name you the villain in Thor or the Black Panther.
Yeah, they don't stand out.
They don't stand out.
Everybody knows Darth Vader.
Everyone knows Darth Vader. Everyone knows the Joker. So I think Batman. Everyone thinks Batman. Like
it helps to tell the story better.
It does.
A lot clearer. Like I've got these two guys, and he's on his journey, and she's his dark side.
Right.
She's the one that's challenging him, even though she's a good person, but in a way she doesn't start out that way. But he's also himself. His belief in himself is his dark side.
Yes.
So I don't technically have a villain other than the belief in himself is the dark side.
A great metaphor for life in general, because we don't have villains out there, really.
No.
But we have other people that we encounter, and then sometimes you feel this emotion, whether it's anger, frustration, and that right there is the shadow side.
Absolutely.
That is the villain. Right, and so that person is there to enlighten you, to bring out the hero within you. And so I guess another thing we're trying to educate, and by educate I mean the root word of educate, I don't know if you're aware of it, means to bring forth.
Yeah.
So to educate someone is actually not to impose knowledge, it's to actually bring out knowledge that exists already within them.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens when you encounter someone that it will be like your nemesis. You feel that within you coming out.
But that's why you can not have a language but still connect with a film, a story.
Yeah.
You can connect with the emotion that you see happening on film.
Yeah.
And and that can be, you can take the subtitles off, you can turn the sound down, but you can see visually what's happening and you can still connect.
Was that because of body language, right? It's because body language is...
That's the language of body language.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's right, that's another language again. And emotions are a language.
Well, it's movement as well, right?
Yeah, sure.
So when you think about stories, stories aren't static. Stories move. There's a there's a flow between it as well. And so it's really for me it's a combination of spirit and the material world.
Yeah.
It's because it tells you how to act in the material world, but it gives you, it's embedded in a philosophy. It's embedded in metaphor.
Yeah.
And that's why I think stories are so powerful.
And you look at the great paintings, the great artists around the world. There's no words. It's just art.
Yeah.
And yet,
yes,
there's a story. And you can see very clearly what's going on.
Yeah.
And it always relates back to story.
Yeah.
And so this is why the hero's journey itself is so powerful. What are the stories that we are telling ourselves? Specifically ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. I can't do it. Whatever. And for kids especially, they are encouraged to take on these stories through the environment that they exist within. And part of this process of what I'm trying to achieve is get people to understand that we're infinite learners. We're born infinite learners. And you can literally take a baby from this side of the world and put them over there and they will learn. We are capable of learning anything depending on the environment. So we're born into environments that teach finite thinking. Which is where we get stuck. But it's designed for safety and security and necessary.
And do you think it's a natural process of the hero's journey? Because every journey starts off with a town, like Luke Skywalker or Shrek. It's structure, order, and the hero has to actually break out of that. Because without the structure, without the order, and I think this is where the respect for
there's respect
the
from
opposing, so respect for the opposite. It's like actually what imposes you, what critiques you, what makes you conform. All these things that you need to break past eventually, but they're tools. But also, like, I'm curious, like, I guess the question is, could you maybe take everyone through the 12 steps? Because I think that's helpful for people to understand, you know, like thinking about my own life, like, and encounters. Examples, like you mentioned, the letter. So that's an example as a call to adventure. After you answered the call, right, you took the letter, you then met Pip. So that's the mentor. And then you meet the mentor. After that, you cross the threshold. So you now enter the world where you're not so skilled in.
Yeah.
And so it shows you your humility, your humiliation.
Yep.
Then you develop the skills and stuff. And maybe you could. Is that how you see?
Yeah. Look, it's we can break it down into the 12 steps exactly, which is what I've done. And it's probably a good idea to go through the poems as well.
Beautiful.
If we've got time very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So what I've done is called it the treasure map to life.
Yeah.
Because it is a roadmap. The 12 stages is a roadmap, and you pick up a clue as you get to each stage.
Yeah.
And then that reveals what you need to explore or understand or be aware of, all those sorts of stuff. Embrace, overcome. Each of them is a clue to the next stage. And so that's why the hero's journey itself is such a powerful thing, because when you get to the other end, you realise it's within you. You are the hero. You are the treasure.
Yeah.
But we just can't see it in ourselves. And so let's take you through. So the first one is call to adventure. So the poem for that is, good or bad, the time has come. Destiny awaits the chosen one. So, sorry, I've got them out of order.
Nope.
That was, we've got to start with the ordinary world. Apologies. I was showing somebody else before. Yeah. Okay, so we're starting with the ordinary world. So we'll back up one. Okay, I am here, I am now, this is me, can't you see? Same is the game. Our ordinary world, our sameness, our routines. And it's like what you said before, it's what you've got to go out of, you've got to overcome and break free from. And it could be break free from religion, break free from parents, break free from whatever is holding you back. So your ordinary world, you have to understand that very clearly, okay? And then by understanding your past, to know your present, so you can become your future. That's what's really important about the whole process. So your known world, stage one. Call to adventure. Now that can come in any shape, whatever. Okay, so good or bad, the time has come. Destiny awaits the chosen one. You are destined. You, just by being born, you are destined to become. How that, and then fate is the determiner along that journey. Okay,
so on that note, I want to listen, because I've thought about this quite a bit. It's like, you know, the chosen one, right? And I think everyone has this thing like, there is a trap there, because you start to think that you are the chosen one and other people aren't, right? So I want to clarify this too, because I think this is important as well, is understand that everyone is chosen for their own unique destiny, because it's your future self calling you to become your future self, right?
That's not higher or below anybody else.
And everyone's destiny is the same, which is to become their future self, to become their greatest potential. But the outcome of that could be different. However, the process is the same.
You've got it. That's exactly it. So when we don't see ourselves as, and the I Am Awesome movement, the concept is respect who you are, respect who you want to become, and respect how you get there. That's it. So really, it's know who you are. And the hero's journey. I mean, religion talks about know thyself, all this sort of stuff. It's really, you have to know this person, and we don't, because we're scared. Because it's going to take us away from our ordinary world. All right. So that's that one. The quest must be undertaken. So then we get the refusal of the call, which we've all been there. We've had an opportunity or a challenge or whatever else, and we say no. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. Don't have the money. My wife says no. My husband says this. I can't do it. We make excuses for not doing what the calling is, for whatever else. It'd say, oh, I've got a family. I can't do it at the moment. Well, that's okay. But you can do it later. Just keep an understanding of it. But understand that it is a refusal. The quest must be undertaken. So the timing is the thing.
Another note on this, because I think it's referring to my coaching, was like, you know, sometimes you do refuse the call. Very often you will refuse the call, but sometimes the world will just knock you out anyway. And you're forced.
You got no choice.
You got no choice. So it's like, well, here I am.
That's it.
And
well, this is this cycle that we get stuck in. We keep refusing the call until it just gets so bad that we have to do it. We stay in a relationship until it gets so hard
that you have no other option.
You have no other option. You could have left, and you know you could have left. But you chose to stay because, and this is what's interesting. Young kids in unsafe environments, right? That's their known world. Safety is an unknown. That's more scary than the known.
Yeah, I think the safety is. I think the known is sometimes scarier than the unknown.
Yeah, but
in some cases,
unknown is more scary.
Oh, for sure.
It's the stories you tell yourself.
Yes,
all right?
but it's also where the treasure is, and so
And
knowing
they
don't know that. But yes.
Yeah. The unknown, even though it's safe, even though it's the treasure, it's more scary.
Oh yeah.
So to go from there to there,
because
is a challenge.
It requires you to give up what you already know.
Yeah.
And that's scary. And let go.
Yeah. And this is the hero's journey.
Yeah.
But it isn't easy. It's a challenge. And you don't grow unless you get challenged.
Yeah.
You've got to take action. So the refusal of call. So holy moly, guacamole, take me back. This is not my track. So that's the refusal of the call. We do that. So then we move into the mentor, meeting the mentor. 1, 2, 3, 5. This will help you stay alive. From old to young, this song is sung. Heed the call, or death to all. Death to all is referring to your dreams, or your purpose, or your sense of identity in that regard. We look at navigation markers when you're going on water, and there's markers here and markers there. That's a mentor who has been there before you to know that there's rocks under the water here, or it's shallow ground here. That plays the role of the mentor. So in life, we have mentors who have been there before us. They know we can do it because they have done it. We don't know we can do it because we haven't done it.
Yeah.
So the role of the mentor, and that's why you need to choose the right mentor. I change my mentor every year for a different skill I need to learn.
Yeah.
Right? And the idea is that I can keep growing. If you stay with the same mentor all the year, your growth rate will slow down. By changing it up, you get challenged more and challenged more and challenged more.
Yeah.
So throughout your life, you need to keep challenging yourself with different tasks, different adventures, keep trying to grow. So yes, meeting the mentor is, and they give you the gift of belief in self. You have to take action and go on the journey to learn that. And that's
the beautiful thing about the hero's journey is about taking action. You know, it forces you to go out and act in the world, not just to have the knowledge and the wisdom and the theories and these ideas and beliefs and dreams. Yeah. It is action in the world.
Yeah. I heard someone say it beautifully. You can affirmations yourself to death, but it doesn't mean a damn thing if you don't take action.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why I think we're here, right? And I see the water as a literal act. Yeah. And I don't know if you see it the same way, but I see the sun as like the light. That shines like the camera and heats up the world, and then we go and act on stage. Yeah. Like, you know, oh shit, you know, sun's up, lights are on, gotta do it. Stage is up, let's go outside, ready to act.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it can be done that way. Yeah, it's really interesting. And by putting the light on us, you can either be the rabbit and scared and stuck still in that spot because the spotlight's on us. Yeah. Yes. Or you can use the other to dance and create the performance of your lifetime because the camera's on us. Yeah. So we react differently, but sometimes it's not necessarily the right thing. We've got to work that out. That's the journey. It's just keep coming back to that radio. You've got to keep fine tuning. Okay, I'm on the wrong radio station. Right. Well, go and find the right one. Try them all. Try them all. So then we cross the first threshold. So we've got the mentor in place, and the mentor does show up when you start asking for them. So when you start putting it out there, I need to learn this.
And that's a key point too, is something I want to highlight, was because a lot of people ask, well, where do you start, right? And you know, this whole thing's about quest, and the answer is sort of in the question right there is like, well, ask questions, because a question will take you on a quest. So it's that instilling that curiosity, and so that is one of the first things that I would say to the audience as well. It's like, you know, you don't know where to go, you don't know where to start. Ask yourself the hard questions and see what answer. And if you don't know the answer, and go find out.
Don't stop at 1 question or 10 questions. Ask yourself 1,000,000 questions. You just don't stop asking questions. Yeah. People give up at 10 or 20 questions that they haven't found the answer. Yeah. If you want this fulfillment, if you're feeling the call, don't give up. Just do not give up. Yeah. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be doing all these things. There's only one thing: don't give up. Yeah. And you'll get there. Beautiful. It's the only way to say it. And some people say, "Oh, yeah, it's easy to say." It's easy to say, and it's extremely hard to do. Yeah. But don't give up. Yeah. Just keep going. What's Rocky say to his son? It's not how many times you get hit down, it's how many times you get back up again.
Yeah. It's resilience.
And just keep getting back up. You have to. So then we get to crossing the first threshold. So tiptoe, easy as you go. Where you end up, nobody knows. Courage required for this tack, for there is no turning back. That stage is we've accepted the call. We're scared.
Yeah.
We don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going to end up. We don't know what question to ask. We're at that point.
Yeah.
And we have to take one step forward.
Yeah.
Courage is that one step. Confidence is taking the second step because nothing happened on the first step. You know what I mean? I didn't die.
Yeah. So, for example, for people, this could be like, traveling without knowing where you're going. It could be, leaving a job,
Living a relationship.
leaving a relationship.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
all those moments there, and so this is to give people an idea for listening. Like, oh wow, this is where I'm at right now.
Yes.
So.
Yep, it's exactly, and that's why the roadmap and the treasure map concept is knowing where you are. Okay, now I know why I'm feeling like this.
Yeah. This part of the journey.
Okay, I need to show courage. What does that look like? What shape is that going to take for me to express courage?
Yeah.
Not see courage, express courage. It's an action.
And what's interesting there is like you could look back at other parts of your life and other journeys and say, okay, well, I did it in that case, in that scenario, and that therefore I took courage when I left my job.
Yeah.
How come I can't take courage in my relationship?
Yeah.
So actually, you do have the courage. It's just
You're expressing it.
You're expressing it in this way. So it's like, you can rely back if you see the story. And all these things, all these past memories,
what's the story you're telling
there is
yourself?
tools there that you can use.
I mean, I probably stayed in my marriage 2 years too long.
That's okay, 2 years.
A lot of stories I was telling myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because 95% of my marriage was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I was staying for those reasons.
Yeah.
Because I always thought it was going to get better and it just never did. So it's just one of those things. So anyway, so courage becomes before confidence.
Yeah.
That one first action you take, a phone call, whatever it is, it can big or small, that action toward your dream. And it's a dream. Most of the time we're heading towards a dream, okay, of a new life, a new identity. It's a vision.
Yeah.
What's interesting about visionary personalities, Richard Branson and Elon Musk and all those sort of people, there's a beautiful conversation I listened to, and they talk about them specifically in a sense. These people don't see the future. They come from the future that they've created. They know the feeling of what that is, and they're coming back to express it, which way no one understands them.
And
so they're coming from the future.
If you want to learn more about that, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So it's about
creating the dream.
It's about spending time dreaming and dreaming about this thing like a little dream machine. Putting these scenarios in your head, but believing it, because your body doesn't know, right? And same thing with your past.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about the past, you're not actually living in it, but you are.
Yeah.
Your mind is, and so it releases chemicals to feel like it's there. And so what you could do is shift from a past perspective of life into a future perspective. Feel those future emotions, write about those, journaling, whatever it is. Tap into that, and eventually the path will start to reveal itself, and you get more confidence in that once you accept that. Like you said,
absolutely. And I had to dream of this, and I had to dream of building the boat, and I had to dream of all these other things. And one thing I'm very good at is bringing a dream to life.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, never having done a book before, and now I've got a book. Never built a boat before, but now I've built a boat. Never done this before, now I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I'm bringing it to life. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm figuring it out. Somebody else has done a book. Okay, we'll go and ask them.
Yeah.
Somebody else has built a boat. Okay, we'll go and ask them.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible if you just ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Go and find the right. And a book can be a mentor.
Oh yeah.
A podcast can be a mentor. Hi. This you've got to understand. It's not in physical form all the time. Like from a human.
Yes, exactly. These are
I download podcast after podcast after podcast because that's the best way for me to learn now. I love books and audiobooks and all that sort of stuff. But watching two people have a conversation and deep dive is the best way for me to learn. So I focus on business people, all right, and health people in terms of spiritual journey. Yeah. So they're my go-tos for I deliberately want to live a life like that. Okay. And what's interesting, part of that process, and it's really having that dream. I'll just quickly refer to you. What I did was I got my artist to create caricatures of all the people that have inspired me. Because all of these people here, I mean, Richard Branson's there, Tom Bilyeu, Cardone's, Tony Robbins, all these people, Gary Vee, and even Jordan Peterson's up there. These people I looked up to when I was hitting rock bottom. I said, how do I want to live? Okay, so I would embody aspects of these people's vision, lives, and all that sort of stuff, and created my own.
It's a really good book, man.
So, I got to give Richard Branson a copy of this in December.
Oh,
I got to shake his hand and give him a copy of my book.
Ah.
That's the dream come true.
Has he gotten back to you?
Not yet. No, he's a very busy man.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, just a little bit. But he's an incredibly gracious person. You know, watching him deal with all those people who all wanted a piece of him. Look at me, look, I got this business, I got this, and he graciously made you feel
like
you were special.
Yeah.
Every one of us who got to shake his hand.
That's incredible.
I stood back and watched after I had my turn, and I watched, and this man is incredibly gracious.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. When you get to that level too, up there, it's something that they've been practicing their entire life. And they don't just get there and have this character.
He knows the importance of it.
And that's why it's important for people to, I guess, to embody these things earlier on in life.
Yeah.
So, because I think this is like you said, it's a map. It's a way to act that can create this sort of lifestyle for you. And so that's what, you know, if you want this sort of lifestyle, and everyone does. Everyone wants the treasure. Everyone wants to feel loved and whole and complete and all that stuff. And so it's and your life is teaching you these lessons all the time.
Absolutely, and that's what we get to next. Is tests, allies, and enemies. So this is the most important part of the journey, I believe, where a lot of action's taken. And it's like, so the poem is, I must, in me I trust. Trust in me, I must. This is where we have to learn that our intuition is telling us something. Our decision-making process is telling us something. We have to learn how to make right decisions. We have to learn how to feel, is this the right decision? We have to learn how to trust, is this the right person to align with? In book 2 of the series, because it's a trilogy, what I've done here is for kids to go around and number their friends 1 to 5. So their number ones are people they can tell their dream to. All right? And this is all about trust and learning who your enemies are and your allies are. Okay? So number 1, you can share your dream with number ones, and they will lift you up and support you, and they'll be there for you. Okay? Family, friends, business people, people you don't know, that's what they do. When it comes to your dreams. Number 2, family, friends, and anybody. Oh, you might lose your money. They'll find every reason why you might fail. They don't want you to fail, but they'll let you know their fear for you. It's their fear. Okay? So they're number 2s. They're everywhere. I mean, there's 80% of the population. Okay? Then there's number 3s. You don't tell these people your dreams. You go and have fun with them, and you hang out with them, and you have a really good time, but you just don't talk about your dreams. They're just fun, but you know, like they're people you get re-energized, but you don't spend your whole week with them. You go out on a Friday night and that's it, or whatever else. But don't worry about your dreams. Just go and have fun. Number 4s, they're bullies, all right? And number 5s, these people want you to fail. They don't want you to win at all. So what I do for kids is I say, right, I go and number all of your friends or people in your life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And identify which ones, and then you spend more time with the ones in your life. Less time with your 2s, less time with your 3s. The 4s and the 5s, you can keep them out of your life. Do you need them? I mean, the bullies can empower you or challenge you to do, that's fine. But the 5s, you just don't have them in your life at all.
You don't go looking for
trouble. You choose to not have them in your life. You make that choice. You don't want me to win, you're not in my life. I haven't got time for you at all. People can move through and become ones again. But it's their choice. Right?
And sometimes it's
But I ask kids, just to finish off, how are you showing up for your friends?
That's an important question to ask as well, because where do you rank in terms of where do you rank for your friends?
For your friends.
And then that shows you, okay, well, right, I want to have
this is the exercise I want kids to use in this process here.
Very interesting. I learned a actual equation for this on trust. Which I'll share with you later.
Brilliant. So, and then we get to approaching the innermost cave. So the idea of this is, of course, there can be no doubt, look within to find the way out. This is an emotional part of the journey, of the psychological journey. This is where we've really got to try We know what we want is there.
Yeah.
But we've got all these stories in front of us telling us, like it's like we can't see what's around the corner, but we know it's in there, but we're too scared to go in the cave.
Yeah.
But we know the treasure's in there. And it's like, I can hear noises, or what's going on. So what are the stories you're telling yourself that are holding you at that front door of the cave?
Yeah.
And really that's what that's all about. So look within to find the way out is to really dig deep. Okay. Then we go on to ordeal, which is woe is me. What do I see? Pain and fear all around me. This is when the universe conspires and just throws everything it's got at you.
Yeah.
And it can put you on your knees as part of the journey, which is we end up there at times. As a parent, you're frustrated, you can't work out what your kids are doing, you're just pulling your hair out. Business, you're unable to figure it out. What's going on? You've got all these challenges happening. This is going on, that's going on, and it's like, what the hell is going on? That's ordeal. How you deal with that is probably the most important aspect of how you get through the journey.
Yeah.
Okay. Gratitude is one of the biggest things. If you can have gratitude for good and bad, because gratitude, the bad is teaching you something.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's generally teaching you something about yourself.
Leading up to this, right? You said like intuition, gut feeling, and sometimes you pursue that, right? You're like, okay, I'll pursue my intuition, and something bad happens.
Yep.
And you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
I thought I was supposed to pursue this thing, my conscience or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
But only later on in the journey do you see like at this part, it's like, oh, actually, I pursued that for my consciousness or my that spirit within me drew me to a bad place, so that I could learn something from it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes there is this like shadow side of you that is actually trying to help you, and that's something I realized a little bit on.
That's Tony Robbins talks about that. He's very clear on saying everything in life is for you. Yeah. Now, if you're looking at life the wrong way, you're going to say, "Oh, the world is conspiring against me."
Yeah.
All right. But if you look at it from a gratitude perspective, everything in life is for me to learn, to grow, to be challenged. Because what I learn here, I can use later. So being grateful for anything bad that happens to you is the most powerful.
And that's a form of alchemy.
It's an attitude.
It's all alchemy too. So like in terms of like negative thoughts, see these cause cortisol in the body, this causes frustration, this causes a whole bunch of negative frequency too. And so when I say alchemy and hero journey being an alchemical process, it is the learning the skill set of gratitude, so that you accept all these milestones and obstacles along the path of the trials and errors, and so that you look at it as, okay, I see it. It was for me. And it's that beautiful moment.
That's it. It's just that gratitude takes you to that moment quicker. That it was for me. So I always wake up with a gratitude for the day ahead. I mean, I'm grateful for each day at the end of the day, but I'm grateful for what's coming towards me. Because my mindset's already ready, good or bad. So when bad things happen, I just don't get upset. I used to.
And that's what the hero resilience is.
That's the hero takes a different attitude to things. They can see beyond the drama. They can see beyond, whereas most people get stuck in the drama. Heroes can see beyond it. So gratitude helps you see beyond. Okay, what's coming for me is a lesson to learn. We've got lessons and blessings in life.
So really it's a motivational tool too.
It is, absolutely. But there's lessons and blessings. Wisdom comes from knowing that the lesson is the blessing. All right, that's where your gratitude. So then we get to the next stage, is reward, seizing the sword. This is really the personal awareness awakening. This is knowing it was in me all the time. Okay, I had it in me. So standing tall, I smashed the wall. Looking inward, I conquered all. So I pulled the sword out of the stone, and I'm the hero. So the prize within was knowledge by taking courageous action. And being acknowledging, I took action, and now I'm standing here because of the action I took. It's praising self, but it's just being aware of self. And
it's also
the rewards you
precision too. It comes with like you've come to a point, because the sword is a very precise weapon. Right. It's not something you just fling around. You have to be very careful with it, and it can damage you too. So to wield a sword is like you've attained the ability to use your skill sets in a way that is helpful to others and to yourself. That you can pick and choose when it's the right time. And so someone who wields a sword at the wrong time, or doesn't have the ability to pull the sword out of the stone, for example, isn't quite there yet.
Well, having the sword in the sheath You know, and having a really a fighter who never has to pull the sword out of the sheath.
Yeah.
Because he's using wisdom instead of the sword.
Yes.
You know, like there's power there. So then we get to the road back. This is the most important part of the infinity symbol. Okay, we've gone on the trials and tribulations. We've found the mentor. We've done it. We've overcome. We've gone through this process. We're starting on the journey back to the middle.
Yep.
Which is now, that's the journey for us to become the mentor of ourselves. We've got knowledge, we've got experience, we've trials and tribulations and awareness of all that sort of stuff. So the battle won. What's done is done. Time to pause for the higher cause. So this is for others. The journey that we go on is for us. So getting that fine tuning on the radio station to align with purpose for why we're here, that's for us. But the impact is for others.
Yes.
So what I've gone through, I can now share my knowledge with a greater audience.
Yeah, and this is a very important thing too.
And this is, you
know, if some people feel like, you know, example, like they might be start thinking, shit, like, do I really want to do this thing because, you know, it's going to put other people at jeopardy, and, you know, I mean, am I being selfish by taking the hero's journey, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a selfish thing, but then it becomes this, it's selfish, but it becomes selfless at some point.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
by becoming your greatest potential, by having your greatest skill set, now can you give back to the world? Otherwise, you never can give.
This is the point where it becomes selfless.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's the turning point where we turn our eyes towards others. Because we're focused on going within, learning about ourselves and doing it for us. And then the process is now how do we inspire others? How is my journey benefiting others, helping others? Okay. So yeah, the battle one. So returning to inspire others is the way of the hero. Okay. So the danger that we get is now replaced with a claim. So those number twos that I talked about all the people that said, you know, oh, you might lose your money, or you could fail, you could do all this sort of stuff. This is your biggest cheer squad now because you've succeeded. Oh, I knew you could do it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we all know those people. All right. So yeah, that's what that is. Okay? So they're out there. So yeah, it's just one of those funny things. And then we get to resurrection. So this is where we get to stand on stage and go, and it's not for you and nor for them. It's up to me who has to see. I am awesome. Yeah. Belief in self. Yeah. But it's doing it with gratitude, graciousness, and you don't need to beat your chest. It's the quiet inner knowing. I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
And do that, right? It's the resurrection because it's a different type of ego, right? It was actually lack of ego because you've killed a part of yourself in order to get there. Yeah. And so you've killed the ego in order to resurrect.
This point here is recognizing that you are a new identity.
Yeah.
When you've reached this point. This is the new you.
Yeah.
All right. And this is the road back, and the resurrection side is acknowledging that you are now a new identity. Yeah. A new strength, a new courage, more confident, whatever it is. Okay, in whatever role you're playing.
New identity, right? Do you realize that's like, I guess, inner spirit? It's something you found on the
journey? Whatever. It really feels a new strength. Yeah. For me, the connection to fulfillment.
And my question there is, like, do you, like, through that process, right, do you then believe, like, it shifts your identity because now do you see everyone else as the same as you, that they have the same spirit within them? Is that why you feel humbled and, you know, a sense of humility in that?
Well, no, I see everybody as they're on their own journey and they're at different stages. Yeah. So we really can't compare ourselves to others.
But not in the sense of what your outcome, but like that belief in self, right? You found that belief in yourself. And so you now know and are aware that everyone has that belief within them.
It is within them, yes.
Yeah. And so that's why it's not an egotistical thing at this point. It's more like, oh, I see. It's in all of us, that spirit and that strength, that hero.
And you've recognised that with the work which is why you're doing the work you're doing. Yeah. And it's why I'm doing the work I'm doing. Yeah. Because I want people to recognise
it in them.
It's in them.
Exactly.
And they can figure it out. So, and we return with the elixir. The elixir is the knowledge and wisdom. And we share it. Yeah. Okay. Which is it's done in a way with gratitude and grace. You don't come back and beat your chest and go, you need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah. Some born agains do it. You know what I mean? I found this and you need it. Yeah. It's the worst thing you can do. Yeah. I've found this and it's good for me, and this is how I'm choosing to live my life.
And that's because I think people sometimes shortcut the journey.
Yes.
You know, I think that
Well, they haven't completed the journey properly, I don't think.
Yeah,
if they're doing that.
Well, there's a massive thing like now in our society, you know, with my generation, it's like, you know, doing ayahuasca, doing mushrooms, doing spirituality stuff. It's like, oh, I went on this journey, I found something, because it is a journey. You literally go on a trip.
Yeah.
So I tripped out and I had this thing, and then come back and you should do this. It's like, why is this course? And there's a lot of courses out there too. And sometimes you've completed a course and you think you went on this journey, you're like, I learned this thing, now you should do this as well. Man, and it's like, and that's what our society now is. It's kind of hard because everyone's telling you what to do and where to go, and all of this. It's quite, and this is why I think that the journey is so hard to go on. Is because no one's going to tell you to go on this journey because it's not the right way to go on it. It's something that you need to come to yourself.
Yes.
And so the moment you go on it is the moment that you relinquish and you say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to take anyone else's advice here. I'm going to listen to myself.
You've got to filter it.
You filter it, yeah.
You've got to filter it because there's really good people out there.
Yeah, there are. Oh, of course.
And it's really the ones who, there's people out there who are more than willing to offer advice, who you just don't take it from. You just shouldn't. If you wouldn't go to that person for advice, don't take advice from that person. Because I've had so many people tell me how to write a book, and they've never read a book. I'm now in the process of the business, and there's so many people telling me what I need to do in the business sense. Have you ever started a business? Yeah.
Well, to that point, it's like you're trying to just filter out, like, well, you know, you're looking for this advice, but it's something that naturally happens. Like, you know, you and I meet. That is a natural experience. The best mentors.
The best tool for that, and it's worked a treat for me, is what I just said. Is that if I wouldn't seek that person out for advice, I don't take their advice. Okay? In the rare chance, I mean, you're going to listen to it because they're going to tell you anyway. But I don't get stressed if they're throwing it at me. All right? It's like, okay. And I can just say, that's a no. I can just slide off. You know what I mean? Like, it's really... But you've got to be smart and say, shit, that's actually smart. How can I adapt that to what I'm doing? Might not work for this, but I can...
Could work for something else.
So you've got to not be ignorant or arrogant in the whole process. But you've got to be learning to say no very quickly. That's another gold toolkit that you can have. It's learning that. So, and that we've got the transformation complete now. So, and that's what we learned, is that the treasure map is you. Or the treasure is you. So, you know, this is this whole thing, that this concept of the hero's journey, it is an infinite process where we go out meeting the mentor, and then becoming the mentor is the massive transformation.
Well, because I think everything's evolving, right? Even consciousness is evolving, stories evolve.
Absolutely.
And so what's naturally happening in the world is this constant giving up of who you are in order to evolve and become something different. And that's exactly what humans do in terms of our biological Darwinism, the evolution of who we are today as a species, the evolution of the world. Everything's following this pattern. Everything has to give itself up in order to become something more. And when you realize that, it's like, okay, actually, I'm okay to die. I'm okay to be born again.
That part of me needs to die. Whatever else.
And it's that mentality, it's that framework, which I think that we're kind of scared of, is that, you know, letting go of our ego, letting go of our thoughts, beliefs, and it's like, actually, no, I'm
letting go of our friends. Letting go of family.
Friends too,
they're all part of that stuff. They're all part of that transformation process. They're all things that can hold you back. And it's interesting because we get to that point on the infinity symbol, is that the mentor comes back, the hero comes back and becomes the mentor for someone starting out on their journey, but then the mentor themselves are starting a new journey. And so the cycle continues on. So you are always growing, you are always evolving, and we're infinite learners. So anything that challenges you, any area where you need to learn, to grow, you just look at it from a hero's journey perspective.
I think this book is brilliant, man. I think it's medicine for the world, and I think something that I wanted to do too. So I've written a book in terms of coaching and poetry as well, not in particular for kids. I would like to do comics and movies and stuff like that. So it's great. That's why I think we connected really well. So it's great to see.
It's a good book, and what's the funny one very quick thing to finish up on, I guess, is my illustrator, who's done an amazing job with his artwork. When he was when we started the book, he said no. When I was looking for an illustrator, because he said I'm not good enough to do the book. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I knew he was,
Yeah.
but he
Because generally, you know,
his
other people
first
would see-
thing was no. He said no to me, and we laugh about this now.
Yeah.
And he's actually taken it on board, and he's done some beautiful work with his art. I mean,
Yeah, I
he's
love
an
it.
incredible artist.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, and the detail that he's put in there is just incredible. He now knows
His potential.
his potential,
Yeah.
and he's now a believer in
And I
being the
think
hero. And
working on
so
this,
it's a great journey.
working on this idea, right? Like he's working on his journey, and
He's
and
had some
you
challenges.
need to really confront it, and so it's
Yeah.
like, whoa, you know, like, and then you start to uncover. You probably uncovered more and more
Yeah.
whilst reading your work
Yeah.
and understanding that process too. And that's why
Yeah.
I would encourage more people to read this book.
Yeah.
So where can people actually get the book?
We've got the website, which is www.iamawesome.tv. You can purchase it online there. That's the only place. We're not on any of the other platforms just yet. We'll get there, but we're just in the initial stages. So we've got an online learning concept there. So we've got the treasure map, which I just went through. That's available online as well. And so we've got early days. We've got a big vision for where we want to go.
Yeah.
Currently looking for a business development type person to help me take it to the next level. So that's my journey. So I'm really in the process of figuring it out. Early days.
Okay, so you got a movement with it, right? So you can tell me that one, just to finish up here, one, the movement and the vision. So I guess we can make it clear what's the dream?
The movement is really just creating an online learning concept for the hero's journey, so people can understand the hero's journey.
Yeah.
But this concept of the hero's journey transcends all cultures, races, religions, and everything. So it's not identified as from.
Yeah.
They all use it as a way to tell the story. It's a storytelling narrative process. Okay, and so the story of Jesus is told on the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Buddha, Muhammad, Nemo, Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
So how do we tell our own story? And that's what I'm trying to do, is get kids to come in. So as I said before, respect for who you are, respect for who you want to become, and respect for how you get there. So you show up, you leave your shoes at the door, you leave your culture, your gender, and everything else at the door. You come in and learn about values and principles. Then you turn around and put your shoes back on, and you go back to wherever you came from and start asking questions.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm a Christian, why am I not a Muslim? If I'm a Buddhist, why am I not this?
Yeah.
If I'm this, why am I not that? They're curious questions, but they help deep dive. If it helps you form a deeper relationship with your religion, great. If it helps you question and is this right for me, then great. Okay, I'm not. There'll be people that'll challenge that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfectly okay. I had the gift of having a mother who didn't believe in God and a father who was Catholic. That's a gift because I got to see that there's choice.
Yeah.
And that's helped me all the way through life because there's choice. There's good doctors, bad doctors. Good policemen, bad policemen, good politicians, bad politicians. That concept of looking at the opposites and then the spectrum within, finding the good people in the middle is part of it. So, and that's the same with all of the things around us, religions, schools, education systems, all that sort of stuff. Find the thing that aligns with you, and that's what we're trying to do. Is we're in the middle of developing a personality profile aligned with the hero's journey concept, so that kids can understand their tribe, who they sit with, and then they can go and hang out with inside. But then they can go on their learning. That's the infinite jigsaw puzzle.
Okay.
I grew up. I'm 63. I grew up in this. Get in the classroom, sit down, shut up, and I will tell you what you're going to learn.
Yeah, it's changing now.
Kids can, and my teachers never understood me. Right? So now the internet and AI has allowed for us to understand who the child is first, and then point them in the right direction. This is the greatest gift we've got. AI is just going to be spectacular.
Yeah, it is. In terms of coaching and asking questions,
Oh my God,
it's going to be incredible.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
so
they're doing a lot of work
I'm
on it
looking
now.
forward to
But
it.
also, like to your point, is like that's what you learn in business. Actually, funny enough, it's like they look at really good business people. They look at you, your skill set, and how can you fit into this?
Yes.
Or actually, how can I build a team around you? How can I build a business around you? How can I build your skill sets? And it comes from you are the factor. And then how do we then? You don't try and fit them into something else.
Well, it's an interesting concept because we're trying to, in a way, we'll be helping kids develop their personal brand.
Yeah,
Because
which is
building
massive
their
now too, right? Because everything's from digital, everything's
Your
online.
career used to be a job.
Yeah.
The future career is your personal brand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible that what's happening.
And that's where we're going.
And that's why your stories
Yeah.
matter.
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
the big part about the whole
Yeah.
process is really, I'm really excited for where we're going. It's a lot of challenges in front of us,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of potential as well.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see
Yeah.
it and be,
Thanks, my friend. I'm really, really glad we met.
Yeah.
Nearly 2 years, I think now. Is it 18 months at least?
It would be a year and 6 months about
Yeah. So, and it's been a
believe it,
fascinating
yeah.
journey. And so this is great to sit down and really deep dive
I know.
into. So,
We do it again.
brilliant, my friend. Thanks so much.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks,
Cheers.
Damon.
Take care.
Good to have you.
Bye.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Good stuff.
Brilliant. That was fantastic, buddy. I loved it.
That was